June 2nd, 2022. I have been thinking and wondering and pondering. And yesterday I realized something. You and I are the sum total of everything that has happened in our lives up until now. Every decision, every action, every interaction has contributed to who we are and where we are and why we do things that we do. They say everything happens for a reason. I don't know if that's true, but it seems that way because everything seems to be connected with everything else. Well, as a matter of fact, I know everything is connected to everything else. We are a part of an interconnected universe. No one is completely independent in this world. We are all interdependent, interconnected, and our lives are interwoven in ways we don't even know or realize. For almost 6 years, 5.5 years, I've been saying that I am looking for the right angle, right idea, right way of telling my story of walking Route 66. People have been asking me to write the book and asking me, when am I writing? When is it coming out? When, when? And I've been either making excuses, which I don't believe at this point were really excuses. It was actually the real reasons behind it. I didn't know how to tell my story in a way that would have more meaning than it did the first time I told the story, which was as I walked the Route 66. I was doing a daily podcast, not a podcast, a blog on patreon.com, which you may be able to access by going to patreon.com/Rashid Huda. The first 150 days or so are recorded there. After Christmas of 2016, uh, the events have not been recorded, even though I recorded those events after probably the 1st of January of 2017. But all these years I've been saying that I've already told my story. I've already written about it. I've already talked about it. I don't know what else do I have to say. I don't know how to say it again in a meaningful way. I did not just want to uh, re rehash what I already had said. As a matter of fact, a year ago, I tried doing that on medium.com where I shared what I had written. And looking at what I had written as I walked, I took those blog posts and kind of ponder upon them looking back 4 or 5 years later and adding some photos from my walks and just adding some silly stuff like songs related to the event or songs that reminded me of something I said while I was reliving the incident. So, what am I talking about? Well, finally, I found a way to tell my story the way I didn't know I was able to do. And the reason I didn't know that I was able to tell the story the way I wanted to tell is because I didn't have a framework that I could work around, work with, and use to tell my story the way that would be different, more impactful, more meaningful, and maybe more helpful to more people. Because those who had already read the story as I walked, those who were actually participating in my story, whether intentionally from the beginning or accidentally, as if there are any accidents in this universe, who became part of the story and have continued to be a part of my life and I a part of their lives. Recently, I came across a book written by Kellen Flukiger, whom I met through the podcasting that I am involved with. My podcast is called Embrace Your Inner Weirdo, and he was presented to me as a potential guest for my podcast. We have become good friends. He has become a mentor for me. He's written a book called The Story Arc, which teaches people who have a story to tell how to tell it, how to connect with the audience, and how to relate the story in a way that people can connect to it, relate to it, and so on and so forth. So everything that has happened thus far that led to me connecting with, meeting Kellen Flukiger through Facebook groups, podcasting groups, and everything else, leading to me buying his book and reading it and finding the framework through which I can tell the story of my walk from Chicago to LA in a way that I find meaningful and satisfactory because I believe it will have a better impact on people, not only people who have been part of that story, people who know the story, but don't know everything about it, don't know what I was going through in detail of everything. Even I didn't know a lot of things. And I have learned things not only during that walk, but since that walk because of the fact that I undertook that walk. And as I reflect back over the 6 years on the incidents and events that happened and the friendships that I have developed and the lives that have impacted me in the past 6 years in a way that it has made me who I am today because of the people that I met, because of the people that I interacted with, and so on and so forth. Life is a beautiful unfolding of events, and we impact everybody else that we meet, and sometimes people we don't even meet. Calvin Flukiger says that it is his goal to affect 10 million lives in 2022. That's a hefty goal to impact 10 million lives in one single year. Well, if I write my book, which I am, I will publish it, God willing, on the anniversary of my walk. And the people who read my book, well, today, tomorrow, years from now, will have an impact because of Kellen writing his book, The Story Arc. So everything we do impacts everybody else in our lives, and everything anybody else does, directly or indirectly, impacts our lives as well. What do you think? Does that make sense to you? Or do I sound like woo woo talking nonsense? Leave me a comment. Let me know. And if you're enjoying these conversation, please subscribe to my channel. I need to get to 100 channel guests so I can have a custom name for my channel. And I would appreciate any contribution you can make to that effect. I'm sitting at 70 as of last night. My goal was to get to 100 by the end of May. It hasn't happened, but it will sooner or later. It doesn't matter when. But do contribute, share with your friends. I want to make an impact in life. I want to know that the life that I'm living is meaningful, not only just for me, but for the world in which I'm living, because it is my intention, it is my desire, it is my will to leave this world a better place than it was when I arrived here back in April of 1954. Have a pleasant evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless you.